What is going on, people? Got a new video for you today. So today I wanted to address a page called Black Jaguar White Tiger Foundation. Overall, I appreciate what they do. They rescue lions, tigers, and other wild cats of that nature. And they run a sanctuary for these, and they re-released them, I believe, is my understanding. Anyways, they had posted something that people had commented on, and then they had a follow-up post to that. And I just wanted to go through this because they said some things that I feel are worth addressing. So let's, by all means, get right into it. So their first post is dealing with shark finning. And that is the act of removing fins from sharks and discarding the rest of the shark. And they're often alive when they're discarded, but without their fins, so they can't swim. And then they end up dying as a result of that. And they posted alongside with that their caption: about 73 million sharks are killed every year for their fins. Guess where is the biggest market? China. Okay. And I, alongside many other people, commented on that post, essentially talking about the hypocrisy of people who are crying out for justice for these sharks, but don't say anything when it comes to the animal agriculture industry, which kills billions upon billions of animals, in terms of killing cows, chicken, pigs, goats, horses, all this stuff. Okay, they're all dying, and nobody blinks an eye to that. But yet, when things like this come across the aisle, or when a dog gets abused, or a cat gets abused, any household pet animal gets abused, people are all up in arms. Okay, and until the day I die, I will be pointing out that this is a ridiculous double standard. I feel this is one of the strongest, things that people should be able to see. And recognize the logical leaps you are making by caring for animals such as dogs and cats and sharks, and not caring for other fish and cows and pigs and chickens. Okay, it is a stupid double standard. I'm sorry, but it's stupid. Okay, because intrinsically speaking, they are the same. Okay, they are the same. There is not much of any difference at all among these animals in terms of how they can bond, how they feel, their will to live, and all these other things that you can look at. So yeah, a lot of people commented on this, pointing that out, and Black Jaguar White Tiger Foundation ended up responding to that by posting another post in which they were essentially firing back at vegans and trying to say that extreme veganism is wrong and all this stuff. So let me just find that. And they posted this post. They said, this is the actual post, and then they had a caption alongside with it. And I know you can see the screen in my glasses. I apologize for that. Vegan parents charged after starving their baby by switching from formula. Vegan parents in Florida allegedly starved and left their 5-month-old baby malnourished after they stopped using the doctor-advised formula and instead gave him a potato-based mash, police said. Okay, and they followed that up with, again, I appreciate the intentions behind most vegan people, but oh my god, when I see things like this, the story he just posted, I wish I could feed some of them a 2-pound steak. Don't get me wrong, there's tons of stupid people that eat meat. Imbeciles on both sides of the aisle. But when will people understand that eating meat is not the problem? Just like eating vegetables is not the solution. The real problem is that we are 8,000 million humans. Yes, 8,000 million humans. When we say 8 billion, it doesn't sound as dramatic and problematic as it is. Extreme veganism is wrong, just like extreme meat eating is wrong. But the real problem is 8,000 million humans. Okay, so let's get into this. He said, I'll ignore the first couple of sentences, but he said, don't get me wrong, there's tons of stupid people that eat meat, imbeciles on both sides of the aisle. But when will people understand that eating meat is not the problem, just like eating vegetables is not the solution? Okay, I will agree there's stupid people on both sides. There are ignorant people who don't know any better, okay, who try to perpetuate ignorance. I agree on that fully. Okay, but when will people understand that eating meat is not the problem? It actually is a huge problem, and that's it. That's what me and a ton of other vegans, millions of vegans, try to get the point across with. And this ties directly with me addressing what the problem is with this. It'll tie directly into the population, that argument that he brought up. Okay, so yeah, the problem is that eating meat is unsustainable. And when you have the population, like you said, 8,000 million humans, to put it one way, when 8,000 million humans are eating a completely unsustainable diet that is having a catastrophic amount of impact on our environment, and it's needlessly killing billions of animals that outnumber the human populations of several, like 10 times over every single year. Okay, what do you think that is going to what is that going to lead into? That is the problem. Meat eating is a huge problem because of the amount of land, water, feed, and the amount of maintenance it takes for all the waste cleanup. Okay, and the fact that all this waste runoff is creating huge dead zones across oceanic ecosystems in which nothing, absolutely nothing, can live. Okay, and these dead zones, if you look at one right outside the United States, you look at the Gulf of Mexico, there's a huge dead zone that spans 2,000 miles where nothing can live because of the amount of pollution from animal agricultural runoff. And it is like that across the globe. There are several other places, seas, lakes, you name it, where fish cannot live. Nothing can live, okay, because there's so much literal crap inside of these bodies of water. It is absolutely decimating ecosystems, okay? So yes, eating meat is a catastrophic problem because the environmental impact is catastrophic, okay? This is not something that we can ignore any longer. There's estimates anywhere from 50 years all the way to maybe a few hundred that say how long we can actually keep up this method of living. The fact of the matter is, we're not going to be able to do it that much longer. This is absolutely killing many of our precious lands and water bodies of water. So yeah, it is a problem. It is a huge problem. And you know, you're talking about sharks and how people are killing sharks. Overfishing is also a tremendous problem that is killing oceanic ecosystems because it's bringing huge imbalances to the predator food chain, the predator-prey food chain. And also alongside with that, it's killing ecosystems that are dealing with coral reefs, which are responsible for most of the oxygen that we breathe. Okay, most people look at trees for that, but actually it's coral reefs. Okay, so yes, it is a tremendous problem when you have 8 billion humans, or 8,000 million, however you would like to put it, that are eating a completely unsustainable diet. If we were to switch to plant-based agriculture, we could end world hunger several times over. We could feed so many more people with the amount of plants that we could grow, because those plants would not be going towards feeding cows, chickens, pigs, and all these other livestock animals that we raise all the time. So we could feed humans and end world hunger several times over if we were to simply switch from animal agriculture to plant-based agriculture. So environmentally, it's the right thing to do. Ethically speaking, you don't need to eat them. It's a double standard to care about one animal and not the other. Okay, so it just doesn't make sense to continue to eat them. They're also eating all these animal products also puts you at risk for some of the most common chronic illnesses. So all in all, there's just so many reasons to not eat animals. And he said extreme veganism is wrong. When people say this, I understand what they're getting at, but the core tenets of veganism have to do with non-violence. So when people try to say, oh, you're an extremist vegan, you're a militant vegan, literally, like, vegans are against violence. So when you tell somebody they're an extreme vegan, it doesn't make a lot of sense from a logical standpoint to call somebody an extreme vegan. Like, I know a lot of people would talk to me and they would call me a militant vegan because of how outspoken I am. But I mean, this ideology is dealing with nonviolence, and it's dealing with compassion, and it's dealing with environmental conservation. So when you call me an extreme vegan, like, sure, just because I'm outspoken about it. But what these people are doing in this post, which he is addressing, that is not extreme veganism. That is complete ignorance, okay? Because they are not doing what veganism is essentially based on. They hurt their child, okay? And that's not something that veganism commands you to do. So it's just ridiculous that, you know, people use terms like militant vegan and extreme vegan and all this stuff. But I will say extreme meat eating, though, it is wrong. And here's the fact of the matter. All of you who eat meat are guilty of extreme meat eating. You might not think it, but this is the only time in history where humans are eating meat 3 times a day for every single meal. You're eating eggs for breakfast, you're eating chicken sandwiches and cheeseburgers for lunch, you're eating steaks for dinner, okay, and you're eating ice cream for dessert, and you're putting cheese all over every single thing you eat, okay, and you're drinking milk to go alongside with your sweets. Okay, and you eat fish multiple times a week. Okay, like, you want to talk about what would constitute extreme meat eating if not what the typical Western and first world country diets encompass today? What would be extreme? Okay, because it's extreme when you feel like you have to eat meat for every single meal of the day in order to properly get your nutrition. When the fact of the matter is you do not have to do that. So when you're talking about extreme meat eating, let's look in the mirror and think about what the word extreme really means, okay? Because there are people who will follow some things like a carnivore diet, but hell, most people are pretty much there. Okay, you cut out a few sources of carbs and you're pretty much on a carnivore diet. So it doesn't make sense to, you know, really say you're not guilty of extreme meat eating when this is the only time in human history that humans have eaten meat and animal products to this degree. So, yeah, it is a problem when humans are in the numbers that we are, population-wise, all over the world, and we're eating an unsustainable diet that is absolutely destroying our environment. Meat eating is a huge problem, and it needs to stop, okay? Because eventually we will be forced to go vegan, and people need to wake up to that fact. This isn't something that is, you know, really up for discussion. It's going to happen. You know, if you think we can sustain this level of, you know, resources that are going to these animals. Like I said, 70 billion land animals every year are farmed. So far for the human population around the world. 70 billion land animals. There are 8 billion people. That is almost 10 times more than a human population. You see how much we eat. Now look at all these animals. Look at all these cows and pigs and all these other livestock animals that we have to feed on a daily basis. How much do they eat? They eat way more than me and you do. And that's a simple fact of the matter. So if we want to talk about something extreme, yeah, meat eating is a problem. Let's stop ignoring it. That's all for today, y'all.